What is up, YouTube? Back in Madden 23. If you're new to the channel and you like Madden rebuilds and other Madden related videos, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button down below in the comments. Tell me if you think that Tua is actually a franchise quarterback for the Dolphins. You think he's going to end up being a long-term answer for them at the quarterback position. Also, if you have any suggestions for other types of videos you want to see, or just comments or questions in general, go ahead and do that down below in the comment section. With that being said, today we're going to be doing a Miami Dolphins rebuild. We got Tua at quarterback. He's 75 overall, star dev. We got Chase Edmonds coming over from Arizona. It's going to be the running back number 1 for us. They also brought in Raheem Mostert from the 49ers. The big thing that they did, obviously, was trade for Tyreek Hill. They traded a whole bunch of draft picks for him. 97 overall, superstar X Factor. We're going to be wide receiver number 1. We also got Cedric Wilson coming over from the Dallas Cowboys in free agency. He's a 75 overall with star dev. He's going to be wide receiver number 3. And then we got Jalen Waddle, 84 overall, superstar, in his second season at wide receiver 2. We also got Mike Gesicki, one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL, 86 overall, star dev. Offensive line, they did try to make some moves to make the offensive line better. They got Terron Armstead from New Orleans in free agency. He's a 93 overall, superstar, protecting the blind side. They also brought in Connor Williams from Dallas, and I don't know if that was a great move or not. He led the league in penalties last year, so hopefully he doesn't do that a whole lot in real life for them. We also got Hunt at right guard, 74 overall, star dev. We got Jackson at right tackle. I'm starting him over Little since he has star dev and he's younger. And then we got Eichenberg. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, at left guard. Defensively, they brought in Melvin Ingram in free agency, coming over from Kansas City. We got Baker at middle linebacker. We got Phillips at outside linebacker. We got Holland at free safety. He's 83 overall. We got Rowe at strong safety. He's 80 overall. Cornerback, they do have Byron Jones, but he's injured right now in real life, so I do have real life injuries turned on, so that's why you're not seeing him on the depth chart right now. So it should be Xavier Howard. He's 90 overall, superstar. And then it would be Byron Jones over here, with Needham being the third corner. But for now, this is what we got. This guy, I don't even know how to say that name. I don't even want to try, to be honest with you. 73 overall, star dev. The defensive line, they do need some help at defensive tackle. You know, we got a 71 overall Jenkins with normal dev, and a 71 overall star dev Davis. We got Wilkins at right end, a 78 overall star dev. And then they got Ogba. They brought in a couple of years ago in free agency. Yeah, he started out in Cleveland, then he went to Kansas City. He's been in Miami for a couple of years. He didn't have any sacks last year, but in 2020 he had 9 sacks, so hopefully we can get that type of production from him in this current rebuild. So that's going to be what the team is for the first season. I'm going to get through and see how it goes. At the midseason point, we're 5-2, currently tied in the lead in the division with the Patriots. We're 5-2, the Bills are 4-2, and the Jets are 2-5. Pretty competitive division. I'm gonna check out players that we can bring back. We got Gesicki. Let's see, in the top right-hand corner, we have $38 million in cap space available. So we're gonna have to be careful with how we spend this money here. I'm gonna see who else we got Teddy Bridgewater as a backup. I forgot about that. All right, we definitely want to bring Gesicki back to be the starting tight end. See if he takes this offer for 4 years. He's coming back. And then Melvin Ingram, I'm going to wait till the end of the year because he's 33, and y'all know after age 28 in Madden, players typically start regressing slowly, and as they get older, they start regressing faster unless they have, you know, a season where they win an award. Strong safety Eric Rowe, I'm going to wait till the end of the season, see if I want to bring him back. This punter, he only wants $2.5 million. I'll go ahead and offer it to him. He wants more money. What kind of world are we living in where punters demand more cash, man? Everyone else, I'm going to wait till the end of the season. Maybe Nick Needham. I'm going to see if he wants to come back. 25 years old, 75 overall. He only has no more dev. He wants to go to free agency. Possible breakout for quarterback position here. Tua is coming off a stellar game. Is he in the process of taking the next step? He's playing well, and I think it speaks to that. Obviously, we'd love to get that kind of performance out of him every week, and if we can, we're going to win a lot of games. Throw 1 or few interceptions and have 350 scrimmage yards or 4 total touchdowns with Tua to increase his depth trait to superstar. Well, hopefully we can get that. We did win the game against the Lions 22-17. So let's see how this went with Tua. Did we get it? Any thoughts on the play you got out of Tua today? Not too much. He made it known that he had hoped to have a better day, but at the end of the day, winning is what we aim to do each week, and we got the job done. Tua did not meet his goal requirements, and his depth trait remains the same. Dang, that sucks. I was looking at the injury report, and we ended up getting Byron Jones back off of injured reserve, so he's going to be our cornerback 2 now. He's 87 overall with star dev, so that's going to help the defense out, hopefully, the second half of the season here. End of the regular season, we finished 13-4, won the division. Patriots went 11-6. The Bills went 10-7. The Jets went 5-12. Let's check out the season stats here, see what happened with all these players. We had the 5th ranked offense. I like to see that. It looks like Tua had a pretty good year. And 14th ranked defense, so not too bad on defense. Tua passed for 4,700 yards, had 36 touchdowns with 12 interceptions. Teddy Bridgewater even came in and threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Tua had 65% completion with a 104.1 rating. Teddy Bridgewater had a 123.5 rating for his little bit of time that he played. Running backs, Chase Edmonds had 939 yards for 7 touchdowns with 3.8 per carry. Mostert had 13 touchdowns. They must have been using him a lot on the goal line, even though he's not necessarily a power back. But he had 295 yards, only 3 yards per carry. So, yeah, the running back position, we could use an upgrade there. Receivers, man, they went off. Tyreek Hill, 84 catches for 1,400 yards, 17 per catch with 9 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 1,197 yards with 9 touchdowns. Cedric Wilson, 1,100 yards with 11 touchdowns. Gesicki only had 531 yards with 5 touchdowns, but it looks like he only played in 11 games, so he missed 6 games. But backup tight end Smith had 300 yards with 2 touchdowns. Pretty nice production from the receiving core. Jerome Baker led the team in tackles with 109. Eric Rowe had 94, and Van Ginkel had 84. TFLs, Ogba led the team with 16. Seiler had 15, and Wilkins had 14. Melvin Ingram had 13. Sacks, Ogba led the team with 11. Christian Wilkins had 7.5. Melvin Ingram had 6.5. Interceptions, Xavier Howard had 5. Jerome Baker had 4. Needham had 3. Eric Rowe had 3. Croson had 2. Byron Jones ended up having 1 and 2. So the first round in the wild card, we're going to be playing against the Denver Broncos. They're 9-8. Let's check out the rest of what the playoff bracket looks like. The Chiefs got the bye week. We got the Bengals against the Bills and the Colts against the Patriots. Playing in Miami for the wild card round. No scores happening yet. Well, Denver took a 3-0 lead. Second quarter, we jump up to a 7-3 lead. Pretty low scoring game so far. Denver's up 10-7 in the second. We tied it up in the third. It's 10-10. We're up 17-10. Denver scored 17-13. We're still winning. Denver scored another field goal, 17-16. Denver takes the lead 22-17. We got to do something here, and we lost the game in the fourth quarter. Wow. Checking out the yearly awards, Russell Wilson won MVP. We don't have any candidate for MVP. Coach of the year, we came in 4th. Offensive player of the year, nothing. Defensive player of the year, nothing. Offensive rookie of the year, nothing. Defensive rookie of the year, nothing. Best quarterback, oh, there's Tua. Tua came in 6th. Best running back, probably not gonna have nothing. No. Best wide receiver, we should definitely have some stuff up here. Tyreek Hill came in 6th. Cedric Wilson came in 9th. Jalen Waddle's not on here? Alright. Best offensive line, Connor Williams came in 6th. What the heck? Dude had the most penalties last year in real life. Best defensive line, Ogba came in 7th. Best linebacker, nothing. Best defensive back, Howard came in 3rd. 2022 season recap: the Chiefs beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl 28-23. Nick Bolton, middle linebacker for the Chiefs, won Super Bowl MVP. Saw Russell Wilson won MVP of the regular season. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni won Coach of the Year. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. Romeo Doubs won Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Packers, and Devin Lloyd won Defensive Rookie of the Year with the Jaguars. Looking at players available to re-sign before going into free agency, we got Melvin Ingram. He's 34 years old. He's down to 79 overall with normal div. I might consider bringing him back, but I think I'm going to let him walk. We only got $30 million in cap space, So we go into free agency. If we can't find anyone that we can afford or anyone that's better that we can't afford, then we can always bring him back. Strong safety Eric Rowe, I think I'm going to let him walk too. We do have 2 first-round picks this year, so let me try to re-sign this punter real quick. I think I already offered him a deal. Yeah. Oh, now it's a perfect offer. The last time he was like, nope, you need to give me more. Van Ginkel, I'm going to let him walk. We don't really need him. Morstead is 31-year-old running back. I'll pass on that. Running backs are no good after 28 years old in real life. Well, probably more like 26 years old. Nick Needham at cornerback. He's 26 years old. He's got star dev, 76 overall. He's not interested in re-signing, but I'm going to try to get him, see what he says. Nope, he's going to free agency. Teddy Bridgewater, I'm going to let him walk. I'm not paying $30 million for a backup quarterback. Trey Flowers, 30 years old, 73 overall, no thanks. Myles Gaskin, nah. All these other guys, I'm going to just go ahead and let them go to free agency. I'm going to check out the team salaries and see if there's anybody that we can cut to save some money. Looking at the team salaries, basically the only one that we can even consider is going to be defensive end Christian Wilkins. He's on the last year of his 5-year deal. If we cut him, we'll save $10 million, well, almost $11 million, it's 10.8. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to see how free agency goes, and then if we need to, we can release him to free up some space. So I'm checking out the team before I go into free agency to see what I need to do. The offensive line is not terrible. I mean, it's not great, obviously. We could use another left guard. Everything else is pretty good. Tight end's good. Wide receivers are pretty loaded. Main thing that we should focus on, obviously, to upgrade would be running back. Edmonds did okay. If we had to stick with him for another year, it wouldn't be too bad. We definitely need a left outside linebacker on the defense, and we need a strong safety. The main focus, obviously, is going to be defensive tackle, though. We could use at least one good defensive tackle. Here in free agency, I ended up signing Tony Pollard at running back. He's 26 years old, 82 overall with star dev. I want to try to give him a chance to be a #1 running back in the NFL. He might surprise us. Maybe he'll go off. We also brought back Melvin Ingram, an outside linebacker. He's still a 79 overall. He is regressing, obviously, since he's 34 years old, but we didn't really have any other options at the spot in free agency. He was the best overall available, and he was pretty much the cheapest, and no one was interested in him, so we'll get him for 1 more year. Defensive tackle, we brought in Matthew Ioannidis for 1-year deal, and then also brought Eric Rowe back, the safety that we had, on a 1-year deal. So I basically had a bargain shop. We only have $3.09 million left in cap room. Checking out the prospects in the draft before we actually start the draft, because we have 2 first-round picks. We have the number 2 pick and the number, I think, 25 pick. So I'm looking at this defensive tackle. He looks legit. He's number 2 ranked on the board here. He's a power rush scheme fit. I think I definitely want to draft him. And then also I looked at this middle linebacker. He's a scheme fit. I want to draft him too, so I'm thinking I'm going to trade the 25 pick overall in the first round and something else to try to get in the top 4 with somebody else and see if we can get both of these guys to help us with the defense long term. Okay, so the Jets have the number 3 pick in the first round of this year's draft. I'm trading our first round pick of 24 this year, a second round pick this year, and a second round pick next year to get that pick. So here we are in the first round. We got the number 2 pick. The Steelers picked a defensive end with the first pick. There's a quarterback here, but I'm going to stick with Tua. So I'm going to draft this defensive tackle with the number 2 overall pick. He has elite acceleration, great agility, elite change of direction, good jumping, elite speed, and good strength. We know for sure he has A awareness, A finesse moves, B play rec, A power moves, and A tackle. So it looks like he's going to be a beast. He has hidden dev. Still in the first round with the next pick, we have pick number 3. I'm going to draft this middle linebacker, Kalen Royal, run stopper, scheme fit. He has solid acceleration, elite agility. He has elite strength. His speed is kind of slow. He runs a 4.64, but should still be alright. We know for sure he has B awareness. He has C man coverage, A play rec, A pursuit, B tackle. He has hidden dev. His speed's still 84, so 4.6. I think it's 4.65 he ran. Still is a 84 speed. That's not bad for a middle linebacker that's 6'4", 244 pounds. First round pick, number 2, Evan Cooper, is an 80 overall. And then the middle linebacker we drafted, number 3, is a 76 overall. I'll let the computer draft everyone else since we didn't have a second round pick. We traded it away to get that number 1 pick. Well, the computer drafted this outside linebacker, Devin Gore. He's a 67 overall, and he does have hidden dev. He's only 21 years old, so he could potentially end up developing to a starter. I'm going to go look at the entire NFL draft and see where we ranked amongst all the other players that got drafted. So the Steelers took this defensive end number 1. Dang, look, this running back is 84 overall as a rookie. He was the highest in the draft, and we had the second highest right here with defensive tackle Evan Cooper. But this running back looks legit. He has 95 speed, and he's a freaking power back. Well, it says elusive, but he's 5'10", 234 pounds. 95 speed, 91 break tackle. Man, that dude's gonna be legit. He's like Steven Jackson back in the day with the Rams. So this is what the starting lineup looks like for the second season. We got Tony Pollard at running back 1. Tyreek Hill's up to a 98 overall with X Factor. Jalen Waddle's up to 87 with Superstar. Cedric Wilson is still star with 77. The offensive line is getting a little bit better. Obviously, center and left guard's a weakness. Gesicki's up to 88 overall. Defensively is where we made our biggest moves. We drafted Cooper, the defensive tackle, with the number 2 overall pick. He's going to be the starting number 1 defensive tackle right away. And then this middle linebacker, Royal, that we drafted is going to be starting over Baker. So I think I'm going to go try to trade Baker and see if I can get something good in return for him. Maybe a starter from another position like a safety or maybe even another defensive tackle. But if not, then I can probably at least try to trade him for a draft pick. Well, we got Byron Jones, 87 overall star dev. Ogba's up to 84 overall star dev. Xavier Howard's a 90 overall superstar. And then Holland's 84 overall star dev. Checking out potential trade offers for Jerome Baker, the middle linebacker. I think I'm going to go ahead and trade for Cameron Sutton, cornerback from the Lions. He's 28 years old. I went and checked him out. He's not like a game changer, but he'll definitely give us a little bit of an upgrade at cornerback 3 spot, so why not do it? We're 3-4. The Bills and the Patriots are tied for the lead in the division with 5-2 record, and the Jets are 2-5. Not off to a great start. I did leave the playbooks the way they were originally, so I still have the Dolphins offense and defense. We got Chase Edmonds coming up for free agency. Probably not going to bring him back. We got Christian Wilkins. I might consider bringing him back. Looks like we're going to have $68 million in cap space. Melvin Ingram, probably going to let him walk. We do have Tua's contract coming up, so we need to try to see if we can re-sign him. I want to keep him for the whole rebuild. Let's make him this offer. The length is bringing this offer way down, so he wants more than 4 years apparently. We got punter Eric Rowe. I'm gonna let him walk. I know this was probably a 1-year thing. We finished 7-10, terrible season. The Bills won the division with 12-5. The Patriots went 8-9, and the Jets went 5-12. Let's go check out the stats and see what the heck happened. Offensively 24th. Why did it fall down so much? Defensively 22nd, so let's see what the heck happened. 2 of 3 for 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 64% completion with a 97.2 rating, so he did not have a good season with the rating. Tony Pollard didn't do too bad, 962 yards, 4 yards per carry. I wish that was a little bit higher. He did get 13 rushing touchdowns though. Chase Edmonds, 4.1 per carry with 3 touchdowns, 384 yards. Receiving, Tyreek Hill still had a great season, 86 catches, 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns. Tight end Gesicki had 897 yards with 6 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had 790 yards, 5 touchdowns, and Cedric Wilson had 712 yards, 13 touchdowns. He only played in 14 games, so he missed 3 games. So yeah, the offense last year, the receiving wise, was going off. There's a lot of 1,000-yard seasons, but this year not so much. Defensively, the rookie middle linebacker Kalen Royal led the team in tackles with 109. Byron Jones had 92, and Xavier Howard had 90. TFL's Melvin Ingram led the team with 16. Ioannidis had 13. Wilkins had 10. Sacks, Ogba led the team with 8.5, and then everyone else barely did anything as far as sacks goes. So definitely need to try to upgrade the pass rusher. We need to upgrade Melvin Ingram's spot to someone younger and faster. Dang, Xavier Howard led the team with 8 interceptions. Probably going to win Defensive Back of the Year. Sutton had 2, Rowe had 1, Jones had 1. Was Byron Jones didn't get 1? Who was this? Brandon Jones. Oh, okay. Checking out the yearly awards. Baker Mayfield won MVP as quarterback with the Eagles. All right. We didn't have anybody in MVP contention. Obviously not going to have Coach of the Year. We didn't even make the playoffs. Offensive Player of the Year, nothing there. Defensive Player of the Year, Howard came in 6th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, not going to have anything there. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Royal came in 3rd. And that's it. Best quarterback, nothing. Best running back, nothing. Best wide receiver, Tyreek Hill came in 7th. Best offensive line, Hunt came in 8th. We need to re-sign him. Best defensive line, nothing. Best linebacker, nothing on there. Best defensive back, Xavier Howard won that with those 8 interceptions that he got. That's good to see. The Steelers beat the Packers in the Super Bowl 35-28 to win their 7th Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo won MVP of the Super Bowl with the Steelers. So there's a lot of quarterbacks moving around in this 5-year rebuild that I'm doing. Josh Allen won MVP of the regular season. Nathaniel Hackett from the Broncos won Coach of the Year. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year with the Rams. Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year with the Browns. Looking at players ready to negotiate, we've got $71 million in cap space, and we still need to bring back Tua. We offered him a 4-year deal last time. Or actually, I think it was only a 3-year deal we offered him. Let's try this 4-year deal and see what he says. He's coming back. Nice. Wanted to make sure that we got him. This Cameron Sutton is a cornerback that we had traded for. I'm going to go ahead and try to get him back for 1 more year. He's a pretty cheap deal. Can be cornerback 3. Nope, he wants to go to another team. All right. Never mind then. Psych. Chase Edmonds, I think I'm going to let him walk. Christian Wilkins. I'm going to see what we can do in free agency. Definitely not bringing Ingram back. Rowe, not bringing him back. I want to bring back Robert Hunt, though. 2 years, $13 million. He's coming back. What else we got? I think that's gonna be it. I mean, we could bring Hunter Williams back. 2 years, $12 million. Nah, I think I'm gonna wait. See if we can find someone better. Austin Jackson, he's only 25. He's up to 75 overall with Star Dev. He's not really interested in re-signing, but I'm gonna offer him this deal and see what he says. Nope, he wants to go to free agency. I don't want to overpay for him. If we have to, we can try to get him back in free agency though. This cornerback, he's 74 overall, 24 years old, still only normal dev, but he doesn't seem like he's too interested either, but I'm going to offer him this deal and see what he says. Yeah, he's going to free agency. So I don't want to sit here and overpay for these guys. Checking out the team before we go into free agency to see what we need to do. Offensive line, we do need a right guard and a right tackle. I think Hunt is actually a right guard, so could use a center or a right guard and then a right tackle. Everything else is looking pretty good. Cedric Wilson, he dropped down to normal dev. I looked at the salary and he's making like, I think it was like $7 or $9 million for the last year of his deal. So if we need to free up some cap space, I think we can cut him. Defensively, oh crap, look, Royal got Superstar X Factor and so does Cooper too. What the heck? I didn't even look to see what their dev trait was. Let me see what their progression history is looking like. Did they have it or did they? It looks like they just had it because I don't see an upgrade on there anywhere. Freaking crazy. Let me check out the defensive tackle. So we got 2 Superstar X Factors in the draft. Thought there was only 1 per year. I don't really know. I'm not an expert on that type of stuff, but that's nice to see. This guy, I guess he had it because I don't see any progression history of it. Well, hopefully they can be helping this defense get back up because we had a pretty crap year last year. We do need a left outside linebacker. We need a strong safety, a defensive end, and another defensive tackle. So we have a lot of needs on the team for sure, especially on defense. I'm switching to a vertical zone run Tampa Bay offense, and defensively I'm switching to Chicago's 4-3. Free agency, we only have $6.5 million left, so I basically used every bit that we had. Bringing Chase Edmonds back, nobody was interested in him, so I got him on a 1-year deal for very little money to be the backup. Bringing in strong safety Grant Delpit. He's 25 years old, he's a superstar dev. Bringing in Charles Harris at defensive end. He's not the ideal pass rusher, but that was the only option that we had. There was Joey Bosa was available, but he was wanting way too much money. Connor Williams, we're bringing him back at center. We didn't really have any other options, so basically that's what a lot of this is, just filling needs that we have. Defensive tackle Neville Gallimore coming in to play defensive tackle spot number 2. Austin Jackson, bringing him back at right tackle, and then I'm bringing in Davis Gaither. He's a scheme fit pass coverage linebacker. Here in the first round of the draft, we got pick number 11. I'm looking at this outside linebacker. He's a run stopper. I ended up moving Jalen Williams down to play defensive end, so we need a run stop and outside linebacker. This guy has great acceleration, great speed. Let's see his skills. We know for sure he has A hit power, A play rec, B pursuit, and A tackle. So I'm going to take a chance on him. He got hidden dev, his speed's 84. It's a good pick right there. Checking out the draft recap. This freaking draft is crazy. I only drafted the first round pick because we didn't have a second round pick, but the first round guy we drafted Bronson, outside linebacker. He's only a 72, which is pretty low, but he does have hidden dev. So I will be starting him right away at that outside linebacker spot. The computer drafted everyone else. They drafted this quarterback, Alani Whitaker, in the 4th round, and he has hidden dev, 66 overall. Got some competition for Tua. They also drafted this wide receiver in the 5th round. He's a 77 overall. I think this is the highest overall I've ever seen in the 5th round. He only has no more dev, but like I said, he's a 77 overall. He has 93 speed, 84 catching, 83 catching traffic, 82 short route. Dude's a straight up baller. And then also they drafted Marshall Faulk's son, Jeff Faulk, in the 6th round, 71 overall. If you don't know who Marshall Faulk is, look him up. He's one of the greatest running backs in NFL history ever. He's the one that started the modern offense that we have with running backs running out to catch passes. But he just had no more dev, but I just thought that was interesting. Pretty sick draft here. Here's the starting lineup for the next season. We got Tua at 78 overall star dev, Pollard's up to 84 overall star dev, Tyreek Hill's a 98 X Factor, and Jalen Waddle's 89 superstar. But since we drafted Barber, well, the computer drafted him in the 5th round, he's a 77 overall, which is basically the same as Cedric Wilson. I'm going to go ahead and start Barber in the slot and also the 3rd string receiver. I'm going to trade Cedric Wilson and see what I can get for him. Offensive line, we brought Williams back, we brought Jackson back. It's not the greatest offensive line, but it'll work. And we got Gesicki up to 89 overall. Defensively, Bronson, the 1st round pick, he's going to be starting that left outside linebacker. And like I was saying earlier, I moved Phillips down to defensive end because he's a pass rusher. And I didn't realize that he was a pass rushing linebacker, so there's no sense in having him up here playing run stopper. Royal's 82 overall X Factor. Cooper's 84 overall X Factor. Brought Gallimore in free agency to play defensive tackle for 1 season. Ogbah's up to 85. We brought Gaither in, 76 overall pass covering scheme fit linebacker. Grant Delpit came in free agency. He's a 81 overall superstar. Xavier Howard won best defensive back of the year last year with 91 overall X Factor, and we got Byron Jones 88 overall. And then we need to figure out something about cornerback 3 because this guy is the backup safety. So maybe that's what we'll do. I know I brought in Charles Harris also in free agency, so maybe I can try to trade Harris and Cedric Wilson to get us another cornerback. Checking out trade offers for Cedric Wilson and Charles Harris, and the Vikings actually are offering Andrew Booth Jr. He's a 79 overall. I looked at him, he's a star dev, and he's only 23 years old, so I think this is the perfect trade. Cash these two guys in to get us a 3rd corner. The midseason point, we're 5-2, second in the division to the Bills, who are 6-1. We're actually about to play the Bills in this next week. The Patriots are 2-4, and the Jets are 2-5. Check out players ready to negotiate. See, we got 80 million in cap space. Jalen Waddle is 25 years old, 89 overall, with superstar. We're definitely going to try to sign him to a long-term deal. Let's try this 4-year deal and see what he says. He's coming back. At least he's not greedy like everyone else. Byron Jones, definitely want to bring him back. 31 years old, 87 overall, star dev. The odds are with his age that he's going to regress a little bit, so I'm going to wait till the end of the season. Try to re-sign him after he falls off some and get him for a cheaper deal, hopefully. Free safety Javon Holland, definitely want to try to bring him back. 86 overall, star dev. He's 24 years old. About to try to re-sign him right now. Doesn't look too interested, so he's probably not going to take the offer. No, he wants a bigger offer. Didn't see that coming at all. Chase Edmonds, I'm going to wait and see how I feel about him. Jalen Phillips, I do want to bring him back. I want to see what he can do with the defensive end spot. I'm going to try to go ahead and offer him a 3-year deal right now and see if he'll take that. He wants even more. Okay. Well, so much for that. Scheme fit. Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle. I'm going to wait on him. Probably try to upgrade that spot. I do want to bring back this guy at left guard. He's a cheap starter. Got the deal done. He's coming back. End of the regular season, another bad year. We went 8-9. I guess it's an improvement from last year, but we still did not make the playoffs again. Check out the stats for the season. So we had the 19th ranked offense. Tua looked like he did okay. Defense was 22nd. Pollard looks like he had a bad year. He might not be a good running back for us. Tua almost had 5,000 yards, 36 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 66% completion with the 101 rating. Tony Pollard, he missed 3 games, but he still had 600 yards, 3.8 per carry. I wish that was a little bit better. He only had 9 touchdowns. Receiving stats, Tyreek Hill had another great season, 100 catches for 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 89 catches for 1,183 yards with 7 touchdowns. That rookie receiver that the computer drafted had 68 catches for 961 yards and 9 touchdowns. Tight end Gesicki had 710 yards, 4 touchdowns. Middle linebacker Kalen Royal led the team in tackles with 146. Gator, we brought over in free agency, had 110. TFL's Neville Gallimore led the team with 17. Ogba had 13. Jalen Phillips had 11, and Evan Cooper had 11. Sacks wise, Jalen Phillips had 9.5, led the team, so I'm definitely liking him at the defensive end spot. Evan Cooper had 8 sacks from the defensive tackle spot. Ogba had 7.5, so we're starting to get a little bit of production from the defensive line and this new defense. Xavier Howard had 5 interceptions. Grant Delpit, we brought over in free agency, had 5 interceptions. Middle linebacker Royal had 3 interceptions. Byron Jones had 2. Tyndall had 2. At the yearly awards for MVP, we didn't have anybody on there. Definitely not going to have Coach of the Year candidate. Offensive Player of the Year, nothing on there. Defensive Player of the Year, nothing. Offensive Rookie, Matt Barber, the wide receiver, got it. So, dang, he should be jumping up to star dev. He was only a normal dev. That's good news. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nothing on there. Best quarterback, Tua came in 6th. Best running back, probably not going to have nothing. Nope. Best wide receiver, Tyreek Hill came in 10th. Best offensive lineman, nothing. Best defensive line, nothing. Best linebacker, nothing on there. Best defensive back, Howard came in 3rd. Delpit came in 4th. Cowboys beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl to win their 6th Super Bowl. Darnell Mooney for the Cowboys wide receiver won Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes won MVP of the regular season. Andy Reid won Coach of the Year with the Chiefs. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year with the Rams. Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year with the Rams. Our wide receiver Matt Barber won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Byron Jones fell off a lot. He's down to normal dev. Still at 84 overall, but we're going to get him to re-sign for this 1 year, $8.65 million. If I would have done it at the mid-season point, he was still at 87 overall with star dev, and I think he was wanting like $13 million. So because we waited, we're going to be able to get him for a cheaper deal. He's coming back. Javon Holland, free safety, yeah, I want him to come back. Let me offer him 4-year deal and see what he says. Come on back. Yes, coming back, nice. Jalen Phillips, definitely want to bring him back. He just led the team in sacks. Try offering him this 3-year deal. He's coming back. Chase Edmonds, I'm gonna let him go to free agency along with Gallimore. We don't need this wide receiver. We don't need this cornerback. Nico Collins, I don't think that we need him. I'll try to sign this punter back real quick. He wants to go to free agency. All right. That wide receiver we drafted, Barber, he got an Offensive Rookie of the Year, so he got a dev trait to go up to star. But then right afterwards, when the season regular or whenever we got to free agency, it automatically dropped him back down to normal dev. I don't understand that. He just earned it, so why would they take it away from him right away? What the team is looking like before we go into free agency, I think the offensive line is still good. Gesicki's up to 90. Waddle's down to star dev. Pollard, I don't know about him. He's up to 85. We've been giving him a chance to be the #1 running back, and he hasn't really proven us anything. I guess you can say the same about Tua. I mean, Tua's actually been putting up some pretty good stats for the overall that he is. I'm surprised that he hasn't gone up more. It seems like quarterbacks don't really develop that well in this game unless they have like superstar X factor, I guess. But yeah, Barber's down to normal dev, like I was saying earlier. Defensively, Gaither lost his dev trait. He's down to normal dev. And Bronson, he was a hidden dev. He had star dev. I saw that, and they took it away from him too. So they're just robbing us left and right. But Delpit went up to X Factor. Holland still got star. Royal still got X Factor. Cooper still got X Factor. We need another defensive tackle. We saw Jones went down to normal dev. Booth Jr. still got star. So might consider getting us some more outside linebackers. Definitely need a defensive tackle. And I'm going to consider replacing Tony Pollard at running back. The salaries to see if we can free up some cap space anywhere. And Ogba, the defensive end, he's in the last year of his deal. He's gonna make 18.9 million, but if we cut him, we can save 16.9 million with the $2 million penalty. I'm not gonna cut him just yet. I'm gonna look through free agency, but if I can find a better defensive end that costs more, and I can, you know, or even if they cost the same for 16.9 million, I can probably get a pretty good defensive end for that price. I'm gonna see what I can do in free agency first. Micah Parsons is available in free agency, so I did go ahead and cut Ogba, and I'm going to try to get Micah Parsons. He doesn't have very much interest, and he has 15 offers, but I'm going to try my hardest to see if I can get him to sign to the team, because if we got him, that would change the defense for real. I basically offered Micah Parsons all the money that we had for 7 years, and it got us in the top 3, but we're still not at the very top. And I'm going after this defensive tackle, Greg Gaines, so I'm about to push the L3 button to evaluate the offers. Oh, he didn't sign with us, really? Come on, man. Where did he go? He went to Tampa Bay. They don't even in the top, were they? 5 years, 25 million per year. I offered him a 5-year deal for like $200 million. Alright, so in free agency, I ended up getting Leonard Fournette at running back. Got him on a 1-year deal for pretty cheap. There wasn't very many people interested in him. He's 87 overall, star dev, 30 years old. We got Greg Gaines at defensive tackle. He's 80 years old with normal dev. And then I got Fletcher Cox, but I'm going to move him to defensive end to take Ogba's spot, since we cut him to try to get Parsons, and we ended up not getting him. This free agency class was pretty weak altogether. I mean, it was top heavy basically. Well, I guess you couldn't say top heavy either. We just had Pitts, Parsons, and Thomas, and then pretty much everyone else. I mean, it's all offensive players, so for the defensive spots that we need, the only option that we had was Micah Parsons for elite talent. Everyone else was not so great. We got pick number 16 in the first round. I'm going to draft this middle linebacker. He's a field general, but I keep on trying to fill these outside linebacker spots. This guy is 6'3", 235. He's 21 years old. He has good acceleration, good agility, elite jumping, elite speed. He runs the fastest 40 from middle linebackers with a 4.37. Skills wise, we know for sure he has A awareness, B block shed, C play rec. His tackle is only a C. His zone is A coverage, so I'm gonna go ahead and draft him. He's got hidden dev with 91 speed. Right here in the second round, there's 2 tight ends up here that look pretty freaking good. I know we got Gesicki at tight end, so I'm considering we could draft one of these and trade Gesicki, or this defensive end is here, but honestly, I'm not too sure. He doesn't look like he's too, really good. He's already 23 years old, and he has a bunch of marginals and decents in his ratings on the physicals. So I think I'm gonna draft this tight end, Tim Ragland. He's the faster of the 2 tight ends that are in here. He's 21 years old. He has the 3rd best 40-yard dash with 4.56 in his college pro day. He has good acceleration, good agility, elite change of direction, elite jumping, great speed, and great strength. We know for sure he has A awareness, A carrying. His impact block is a D, short route is a D, but he has A spectacular catch. So yeah, I'm just gonna draft this guy. He has hidden dev, 86 speed. Checking out the draft recap, first round pick Logan is only a 72 overall. That's a little disappointing. He does have hidden dev, he's only 21, so I don't know, we'll see how that goes. And then the tight end we drafted, he's only a 71 overall. It's a 2nd round pick. He has hidden dev. I think I am going to go ahead and just make him the starter and trade Gesicki. Computer drafted all the rest of these guys. This defensive end, Gardner, they drafted in the 4th round, 70 overall. He has hidden dev. The start of the 4th season, Tua is up to a 79 overall star dev. We brought Fournette in a free agency, 87 overall star dev. So I'm thinking I'm going to trade Pollard. And then also tight end, we drafted Ragland in the 2nd round. I'm going to start him, and we can trade Gesicki. Try to trade them 2 guys to get something that we need probably on defense. Tyreek Hill's at a 97 overall X Factor. We got the reigning offensive rookie of the year coming back, 79 overall at wide receiver 3. Jalen Waddle's a 91 overall with star dev. The offensive line is slowly developing. Armstead's probably going down because he's getting up there in age. Defensively, I'm putting Logan, the linebacker we drafted, start at left outside linebacker over top of Bronson because he has hidden dev. Bronson had hidden dev last year, but for some reason they decided to take it away. Gaither dropped down to normal dev. Delpit's up to X Factor, 83 overall. Hollins at 88. Howard's 90 X Factor. We still got Booth Jr. at cornerback 3. Cooper's at X Factor. So we got 4 X Factors on this defense here. I moved Fletcher Cox to defensive end, and we got Gaines at defensive tackle 2. Byron Jones is down to normal dev, but he's still 85 overall. So I'm thinking we could trade the Pollard and Gesicki, possibly get us another linebacker, or probably should really focus on the defensive end. For Mike Gesicki at tight end, I'm looking at either Logan Wilson. He seems like he'd probably be a good linebacker for us. Or we could get Aiden Hutchinson to play the other defensive end. I think that we should really focus on trying to get sacks. So I'm going to trade Gesicki for Aiden Hutchinson straight up. Looking at trade offers for Tony Pollard. There's a whole bunch of different stuff in here, but I'm going to trade for Greg Rousseau from the Bills so we can try to keep making this defensive line younger and better. Alright, so after making those trades, I moved Rousseau to defensive tackle. He's a scheme fit, 85 overall superstar. And then we got Aiden Hutchinson playing defensive end for us. So this defensive line just got some big upgrades here. We had Fletcher Cox and Gaines before, but now we just have them as backups. Hopefully this defense can take another step. Offensively, still all the same. You know, we just got Ragland playing tight end. Mid-season point, we are currently 1-6 off to the worst start of this rebuild. I don't know what it is. Team is freaking loaded on defense for sure. The offense is not like terrible at all. I don't know how the heck we're losing so many games. I'm going to check out players ready to negotiate, see what we can bring back. Aiden Hutchinson, I definitely want to try to sign him. I was hoping that he was going to make an impact on the defense. He's coming back. Leonard Fournette, I'm going to wait on him. Byron Jones, same thing. Andrew Booth Jr., I do want to bring him back. He wants 5 years for $29 million. That's not too bad. He's coming back. Let's see, we got Robert Hunt, the right guard. He's 29, so he's probably going to start regressing. I'm going to wait on him. Gaither, I'm going to wait on him. Everyone else, I'm probably just going to wait on. We do have a tandem breakout on offense, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do it and try to see if we can get something going with this team because it has not been good. I'm going to challenge Waddle here. Let's see what it says. Tyreek Hill has earned 2,500 for inspiring a teammate. Get Jalen Waddle 150 receiving yards against the Browns. Touchdowns with Jalen Waddle will give him bonus rewards if his goal is completed. So let's see what happened with this tandem breakout. Hopefully we get something good going for this team here because we desperately need it at this point. He says, I was ready to go heading into this week, but things just didn't go my way once the game started. Dang, so he didn't do it. We finished 8-9, so I guess we had a good second half, but we did not make the playoffs. Everyone in the division went 8-9 except for the Patriots. They went 9-8 and won the division, so hopefully this means that we're heading in the right direction going to the last season of the rebuild because we only made it to the playoffs once so far. We had the 11th ranked offense. Tua had a freaking great year, it looks like. 3rd ranked defense. All right, come on, man. How are we having these high ranked offenses and defenses and not making it to the playoffs? Tua passed for 5,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 62% completion with a 94 rating, which is kind of low, I guess. Rushing wise, Leonard Fournette had 1,000 yards, 4.2 per carry with 9 touchdowns, actually having a somewhat legit running game. Tyreek Hill went off with 121 catches for 1,600 yards, only 6 touchdowns though. Jalen Waddle had 79 for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. Matt Barber had 991 yards, 10 touchdowns. Rookie tight end Ragland had 61 catches for 722 yards and 5 touchdowns. Good production from the rookie. Kalen Royal led the team in tackles with 129. Davis Gaither had 123. Evan Cooper led the team in tackles for loss with 20. Rousseau had 17. Phillips had 11. Hutchinson had 10 sacks. Evan Cooper led the team with 11.5 from the defensive tackle spot. Hayden Hutchinson had 10, so that's good to see. Rousseau actually had 7. That's good to see too. Phillips had 7. That's not great, but it's not terrible. Interceptions, Xavier Howard led the team with 4. Gaither had 3. Royal had 3. Byron Jones had 3. And Holland had 1. Gardner Minshew won MVP as quarterback with the Buccaneers. Yeah, that's extremely realistic, Madden. Great job here. We didn't have anybody there. Obviously not going to have anybody for Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year. Nobody on there for us. Defensive Player of the Year. Nothing. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ragland came in 3rd, the tight end that we drafted. Defensive Rookie of the Year. We didn't have nothing on there either, huh? Best quarterback. Tua came in 9th. Best running back. Leonard Fournette's not on here. Alright. Best wide receiver. Really? We don't have nobody on here at all? I cannot believe that. All these guys had a better year than Tyreek Hill, huh? Best offensive lineman. Hunt came in 9th. Best defensive line. Cooper came in 4th. Hutchinson came in 9th. Best linebacker. Gaither came in 10th. Best defensive back. Howard came in 3rd. The Panthers beat the Jaguars in the Super Bowl to win their first ever championship. Caleb Lamontagne, I don't know how you pronounce that name, quarterback for the Panthers, won Super Bowl MVP. We saw Gardner Minshew win MVP of the regular season. Doug Peterson won Coach of the Year with the Jaguars. Wouldn't you know it, Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald both won Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. That never happens. I'm going to definitely bring Rousseau back. He's 85 overall. I'm going to offer him a little bit more player-friendly deal. He's coming back. Fournette, I don't know. I'm going to wait until go to free agency. Byron Jones, he only wants 1 year, 5.8 mil. I think I'm going to wait and see if we can upgrade that position. Hunt, I'm going to go ahead and offer him a deal. He's still 79 overall, star dev. He's coming back on a 1 year deal. Gaither, I'm not going to bring him back. Williams, I'm going to wait and check out free agency. Maybe offensive line is the reason why we're not winning. I don't think so, but at this point, who really knows? Tyreek Hill's on the last year of his deal. He's going to make $50 million this year. If we cut him, we'll save $45 million. Obviously, I'm not going to cut him. I'm going to keep him because he's the best weapon that we have, but I just thought that was freaking insane. We also got Armstead here. He's 35 years old in the last year of his deal. He would save $14 million if we cut him, but again, I'm not going to do that. He's still 86 overall. Free agency, I brought in Alvin Kamara at running back. He is 31 years old, but he's still a 92 overall with X Factor. Bringing in Jamel Dean at cornerback, trying to upgrade every position that we can. He's a 87 overall star dev, 29 years old. I had to bring Connor Williams and Eichenberg back at offensive line because there was just no offensive line in free agency that were better than them. The free agency has been pretty terrible in this rebuild here. I guess there's not a lot of good players that are going. The ones that do go to free agency that are really good players, they typically get like 25 offers for like $1 bajillion, so it's nearly impossible to get them. We got the 12th pick in the first round. I'm going to draft this offensive lineman, Martin Brewer. He's 6'7", 323 pounds. Haven't drafted any offensive lineman, I don't think, in this rebuild. His physical skills, he's not really like great or elite in anything, but the skills that we do know, he has A awareness, A impact block, A lead block, B block finesse, or pass block finesse, B pass block power, B run block power. So we know that he can block, and that's what he needs to do. So I'm drafting him. He's got hidden dev. Checking out the draft recap, I let the computer pick all the other players. We drafted this tackle in the first round. He's a 70 overall, playing up to a 72 with hidden dev. But what's really crazy about this draft is the computer drafted this left tackle in the second round, and he's a 73 overall. with hidden dev. So the computer is like, oh, I'm gonna do better than you. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, in the 3rd round, we're also gonna draft this left guard who's also a 72 overall with hidden dev. So we did better than you did. Ha ha ha. But I'll take it though. I wish we could have had this draft like in the first year. Could rebuild the whole entire offensive line in one season. Starting lineup for the last season, the 5th season, all the offensive linemen that we started are not better than any of the existing guys that we have, so I'm not going to start any of them. Tua is still a 79 overall with star dev. I'm going to come in here and look at his stats. I don't understand how he's not developing ever since we've been here, he's had the best years of his career. The first season that we were with him, he threw 4,700 yards, 36 touchdowns. And every year he's staying around 36 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. This past season, he had 5,000 yards. So how the hell is he not developing? I don't understand how the Madden stuff works, because he's still a 79 overall, even though he threw for 20,000 yards in like 4 seasons. Don't make any sense to me, but at least we gave Tua a chance. We got Kamara coming over in free agency. He's a 92 X Factor. Hill's starting to fall off a little bit. He was a 98, now he's down to a 95. Still got X Factor. Barber's 81 was normal dev, and then Waddle's still holding up 92, but he still just has star dev. Tight end Ragland's up to 76 with star dev. Defensively, Royal still has X Factor, is 88. Logan, we drafted last year, he's 78 overall with star dev. Delpit went from X Factor down to superstar, he's 85 overall, and Holland's an 89 overall with star dev. We brought in Dean in free agency. He's the best corner we have now. He's at 88 overall with star dev. We do still have Howard. He's just injured right now for 2 weeks, but he's down to 86 overall. He still has an X Factor though. And then we got Booth Jr., 83 overall. Defensive line, we got Cooper, we got Rousseau, we got Hutchinson, we got Phillips. I mean, this defense is looking nasty. Offense is looking nasty too, so I don't know. If we don't make it to the playoffs this year, then this game is just broken. We're 5-2. We're actually off to a good start. We're leading the division. The Bills are 4-3. The Patriots are 3-3. The Jets are 2-5. I'm not gonna worry about signing anybody. This is the last season, so we're going to the end of the season. Hopefully, we get that playoff spot. End of the regular season, we went 11-6. We won the division. We finally made the playoffs again. Bills went 10-7. The Jets went 9-8, and the Patriots went 5-12. Let's go check out the player stats for the season. We had the 19th ranked offense, so it's like one of the worst offenses we had, and they're like, oh yeah, y'all made the playoffs. And defense 20th. This is crazy, man. Alright, Tua threw for 4,100 yards. He had 31 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 63% completion with a 97 rating. Apparently the backup quarterback had to come in. He only threw 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. So yeah, Tua missed 1 game. Rushing wise, Alvin Kamara had a freaking amazing season. 253 carries for 1,300 yards, 5.3 per carry. That's what I like to see. 15 touchdowns. Backup running back Falk had 7 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Tyreek Hill had 100 catches for 1,270 yards, 6 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had 99 for 1,260 yards and 13 touchdowns. Tight end Ragland had 781 yards with 7 touchdowns, and Barber had 700 yards with 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Von Logan led the team in tackles with 125. Royal had 118. Aiden Hutchinson led the team in tackles for loss with 19. Rousseau had 18. Cooper had 15. Phillips had 11. Logan had 10. So we had a lot of TFLs. Evan Cooper led the team in sacks from the defensive tackle spot. So he's like the next freaking Aaron Donald over here. He got 12.5 sacks. Rousseau had 11.5 sacks from the defensive tackle spot. Nice. Hutchinson had 9.5 sacks, and Phillips had 5. Interceptions, Andrew Booth Jr. had 4 interceptions, my bad. Dean had 2, Delpit had 1, so we didn't really get a lot. In the wild card round, we're gonna be playing against the 10-7 Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see what the rest is looking like. The Jaguars got the first round bye. We got the Chiefs playing against the Colts and the Ravens against the Bills. Playing in the wild card round in Miami, we jump up to a 7-0 lead. Cincinnati scored 7-3, 7-6. We're still winning by 1. We're up 14-6 in the second. We're up 21-6 in the second. And the third is 21-13. We're still winning. In the fourth, they tied 21. We take the lead 28-21 in the fourth quarter. We won the game 28-21. Nice. Divisional round, we're going to be playing against Kansas City, who is 10-7 on the year. And then we got Baltimore against Jacksonville on the other side. Divisional round here, playing in Miami again. We jump up to a 3-0 lead in the first. Just went a bunch of defense. Now it's 7-3. We're losing in the second. We're losing 14-3, 14-10. We're coming back in the third quarter. We're down 21-10, 21-18, 28-18. Going into the fourth, we're down by 3, 28-25. Still 28-25. Come on, we got to do something. 31-25, and we lost the freaking game at the end. Well, at least we got one playoff win in this whole 5-year rebuild. Josh Allen won MVP again. We didn't have anybody up there. Coach of the year, we came in 9th on that. Offensive player of the year, nothing on there. Defensive player of the year, nothing. Offensive rookie of the year, nada. Defensive rookie of the year, nothing again. Best quarterback, is Tua up here at all? Nope. Best running back, Kamara came in 7th. Alright. Best wide receiver, Waddle, came in 3rd. Best offensive line, nothing. Best defensive lineman, we got a lot of guys. Russell came in 5th. Cooper came in 6th. Hutchinson came in 7th. Nasty D-line that we had. Best linebacker, nothing there. Best defensive back, Booth Jr. came in 4th. Was there anybody else? No. 2026 season recap. The Chiefs beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl 37-31. Patrick Mahomes won MVP of the Super Bowl. Josh Allen won MVP of the regular season. Doug Peterson won Coach of the Year with the Jaguars. DJ Moore won Offensive Player of the Year with the Panthers. DeMarcus Lawrence won Defensive Player of the Year with the Cowboys. So after 5 years, we made it to the playoffs twice. We only got one playoff win. Unfortunately, no Super Bowl win. We had 3 years of mediocre football. I don't know what's going on, but Tua never got any better. It just seemed like, his overall rating never got any better. He just stayed at 70, 79 in there pretty much the entire time. Defensively, we brought in a whole bunch of defensive linemen. We still got Phillips. He's one of the original guys that was on the team. And Holland was also here too. But basically everyone else are people we brought in besides, Xavier Howard. He's down to 83. But the defensive line, we made them pretty nasty. They were up for a lot of awards. Royal, we brought him in through the draft. Cooper, we brought him in through the draft. So we made the defense pretty sick. But that's going to be it for the video. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button. Say something in the comments. See y'all in the next one. Appreciate it. Peace.